Yeah, the guys, welcome to this brand new video on my channel. And in this one, we're going to be looking at supply to demand flips. Now, this is a concept that's very, very similar to something else that you may have heard of in the past called breaker blocks. It's pretty much, you've got supply and demand, and then you've also got smart money concepts. And this is the same kind of theory within that. It's, it's literally just, in my opinion, it's just the way you really name these types of things. How you use it is exactly the same. Now I'm going to be looking for you through, for example, this one right here that I've gone through on my Instagram page, and then also a few live examples at the moment as well. And of course, you always want to be learning these concepts, but the main thing is actually applying them. So keep watching the videos, keep going through all the content, but what you really need to do is start to apply. Look in the market, where can I actually see this popping up? Back test it especially. But yeah, before we get into everything, I just wanted to thank you guys for something big that's been going on. Recently, we just hit 35k subscribers, or 36k by the time this video comes out. And in appreciation of all of that, we haven't done a discount in a while on both the courses. So until the end of this week, so whenever you might be watching this, 9th of October is going to be the final day, 20% off for both courses. This includes both the 80 video technical and fundamental mentorship. Obviously, the Discord is lifetime as well. And then also the same thing applies to the 22 video one, which is just the technicals. So yeah, guys, if you are interested, I'm going to keep links in the description. Use the discount code discount20. And yeah, I'll guide you through pretty much. Click on the website, and then obviously when you get to the end, use the coupon code. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down below. But apart from that, we're going to get straight into it. Now, I did this post not too long ago on my Instagram. Let's just have a quick look. Where was it? Somewhere down there, anyways. Looking at supply to demand flips. Now, of course, when you look at this concept, you need to understand a few things. First thing is this. When we're looking at, for example, usual supply and demand zones or usual order blocks, this is what we see. Now I'm going to start drawing. One sec. Let's just get the page up. Okay. So when we're looking at normal supply and demand zones, this is what we're usually looking out for. You have some kind of build up here. It drops, comes back, and then this is what we usually see, right? Now, what happens if something like this happens? You have that build up, for example, price goes up, but rather than mitigating this and dropping down instantly, what actually happens is it breaks through, and then eventually price comes back to that area that used to be a previous area of interest. Then we start to buy up from that zone, and that's literally all it is. When I've actually explained this in terms of order blocks in the past. I believe it was on, let's just see, on one of the first ever videos. Yeah, the second one. So definitely check this one out. Only 3 order blocks you need to know. On that one, I talk about the breaker block, and it's a concept that's a bit more hard to grasp, especially when you're new into smart money concepts or whether you're new into supply and demand. But this is exactly what you want to be looking out for. Now, why do we look at this? I want to give a few examples. There's many times where I might be doing my weekly analysis, or I might be doing my daily analysis, sending it out to the students. For example, one that we're looking at today, daily analysis, or is it Euro CHF? This is the example that we're going to be going through, and I'm going to explain what happened to the previous analysis and what we're analyzing now. And of course, guys, this is where I send, all the entries, weekly analysis, fundamental breakdowns, and of course, we've got all of the group chats as well. But with all of this, what might happen is something like this on your weekly analysis. Let's just say we're in a downtrend. We've got a build up there, drops, bit more interesting price action, drops again. So now we're looking for some potential sells. Now, areas that I would personally look at would be one here as well. But what happens, for example, if it does this? And this is the exact scenario that we're seeing with Euro CHF at the moment. Price right now, what it did, rather than respecting this zone right here, it actually broke through it. So you might have seen a tiny bit of some price action there, broke through it, Let's just say it breaks through the second zone as well. What price is going to do? Eventually, at some point, it has to retrace downwards. Now, there's a few key things here that we have to understand. First of all, our downtrend has now been broken, especially if this is our higher time frame price action. Let's just say this is a primary high. This is another primary high. So as we're going downwards, if this is broken, that means that we are no longer in that downtrend. We are starting to have a change of trend or change of character, whatever you want to call it. As we break upwards, eventually price is going to have to retrace downwards. Now, more likely than not, supply to demand flips, they work very well, in my experience, they work very well on the short-term basis, because what you might get is this. For example, let's just bring this all down. One sec. Let's bring this down. So what you might get is something like this. Price breaks upwards. Then, of course, so this run up is very overextended. At some point, it does have to pull back. But the pullback, could be to this previous breaker block, or we could say this supply to demand flip. That was an area where it was previously an order block. Now we're starting to buy upwards. Now, once this move happens, now you can expect for price, of course, to push up from that point. But what I tend to see is the move is not always very, very long term, because the problem with all of this is, what do we have here now? We've got massive imbalances left below. All of this is a form of liquidity that's going to get taken out. Or we say form of liquidity, it's an imbalance, it's a gap in the market that's or an inefficiency, as some like to call it. This eventually has to get filled out. So when you are entering on supply and demand zones, you really supply it to demand flips. You really want to be considerate of the take profits that you're going to be using. Okay, so we understand this concept now. We know how it looks like. Now let's get into some of the live markets and see how this can apply to us. Now, previously, what we had, Euro CHF, the analysis that we had posted out was this. So this is the free Telegram as well, by the way. It's just like a group where I do send out analysis from time to time with just some key information. Euro CHF, where was it? So this right here, this is what I was looking at. We've got this clear sort of downtrend to the downside. 2 points of interest. The top one was a premium point of interest. Obviously, that's much higher up. And then also we've got the bottom one, which require, for me personally, the bottom point of interest, or the one that's closer to the midpoint, requires a bit more confirmation, just because it's not at an extreme level like the top one right here. Either way, we know that's what the analysis was before. So of course, previously I was looking for something like this. So this kind of point of interest. Now we started to have a breaker structure just below here. But I believe at the time, not my other confirmations were not met, therefore I did not enter. So now this is what happens. We're gonna have to reanalyze and see where we go from here. At the moment, what's happened is we've broken past all of this. So technically, this for me, I would count as a primary high. Now, because that was broken, we're now starting to have a change of trend on this kind of time frame. Within the higher time frame, this is why you do need to consider different time frames. Within the higher time frame, let me actually do something that I never really do. Where is the fib retracement? It's been such a while since I've used it. I think it's this one. Well, not even. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is this. This right here, this whole move is one impulse in a way. So technically, we are still within this downtrend right here. Now we are reaching this premium area at the top. Therefore, we can still expect some kind of sales from there. But in terms on the lower time frame, let's go on the 1 hour. What we've done, we've broken this primary structure right here. So therefore, if we do get something like this, let's just say a reaction from the top, we take this liquidity that we've just built up at a moment, we sell off, potentially we might see another buy from here because within this whole range, as you can see, within this whole range, we've now broken structure upwards and we're having a change of trend to the upside. Now, not to say that even this high is going to be broken because this one is protected in a way. It's protected by the higher time frame downtrend. So what I'm expecting is a move like this, for example. And of course, if price does get there, that would be one of our take profits. But if we do get into sells from here, for example, the way I would manage this position is this. So let's just say a sell from there could be refined. So let's say from the 50% zone. One of my take profits would be here, just at this potential supply to demand flip. So as you can see, oh yeah, back to the whole conversation about supply to demand flips. This area was previously an area of supply, right? Now what's actually happened is because we've broken past it, this now may become a flip zone, this right here. Now, what I want to say is this. When you have supply to demand flip zones, such as this one right here, what I tend to do is I don't exactly look at that supply zone that was there. I tend to look at the order blocks that form around that supply to demand flip zone. So for me personally, of course, you could enter on something like this. Let's just say a buy from there. And then that might take us upwards somewhere. Take profit one here, and then potentially higher up. What I tend to do is I look for order blocks within that area. So it's kind of involving both concepts. You take the idea of the supply to demand flip and the breaker block sort of strategy, but also you try to pair that with order blocks. As you can see, hence why this would be my considered zone. And that's the area that I would buy from. Again, similar type of thing. You're going to see this countless times in the market. Again, supply and demand flips, they tend to not go on for too long because you can expect some kind of retracement. I mean, just looking at this price structure right here, we've got this imbalance here that needs to be filled. We've got this imbalance down here as well. Two very clean zones. And eventually I do expect price to get filled because, you know, we've had this massive inefficiency right there. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all it is. We've kind of already gone through this in terms of breaker blocks, but now when you're looking at supply to demand flips, it's just a different way to look at that type of strategy. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, you know, always feel free to message me on Instagram. I know I do get a lot of messages, so I try my best to go through them, you know, at least 10, 15 a day or so, just to see what you guys need help with or anything. But yeah, 20% off sale at the moment, gonna end this weekend. So definitely, if you have any questions, you know, definitely don't hesitate to ask. All right, guys, take care and I'll see you in the next one.